One of our top stories this morning, a big change in the weather is coming this week. Several major Arctic fronts will be moving into northwestern Montana starting Wednesday, according to National Weather Service meteorologist Jen Kitzmiller.
We're going to have a series of fronts that move through that'll bring some snow to the Missoula area, a few inches of snow. The heaviest snow looks like it's going to occur further north, up across northwest Montana. So people in like the Flathead Valley, up towards Libby, Troy, Eureka, and near West Glacier, they're going to have significant snowfall amounts here Tuesday into Wednesday.
Following the snow, Kitzmiller said there'll be much colder temperatures moving into our area.
The first push will be, highs in the low 20s and lows into the low teens, but then we get a second reinforcing burst by the weekend, and that's when we're expecting bitterly cold, where we may only see highs in the single digits and lows down below zero.
Kitzmiller said the weather will be fairly dry by that time, but bitterly cold next week. Prosecutors say a Bozeman man told police he fatally stabbed his father while he was in a rage. The Bozeman Daily Chronicle reported Friday that prosecutors filed a court affidavit claiming 37-year-old Tanner McCann Franks told officers on November 22nd that he stabbed his father the day before. The affidavit says that Franks told the detective his father had verbally and physically abused him and he had stabbed him, quote, during an absolute blackout rage, end quote. Hours before speaking to officers, Franks denied in court that he killed his father. Police found 72-year-old William Franks dead in the kitchen of his home on November 21st. Tanner Franks was arrested on a charge of deliberate homicide and is being held on a bail of $1 million. He's scheduled to enter a plea this Wednesday. A Laurel man has been sentenced to 20 years in the Montana State Hospital after pleading guilty to a robbery charge stemming from a fatal shooting. The Billings Gazette reported Friday 30-year-old Garrett Lee Crandall was charged in connection with an attempted robbery in Billings in 2015 that resulted in the fatal shooting of 25-year-old Clinton Old Bull. Prosecutors said Crandall and 38-year-old Ross Brashears went to Old Bull's home planning to rob a woman over a drug deal. Investigators say Old Bull met them at the door and was shot in a scuffle. Brashears is charged with deliberate homicide in Old Bull's death and is scheduled to go on trial in February. Crandall has been in the state hospital for a year under treatment for schizophrenia. There's some optimism in Mineral County after the jail was closed suddenly back in October. The sheriff resigned. Mineral County Commissioner Roman Zalawi said they had interviews scheduled throughout the day on Friday for positions at the jail. He says that the jail could be reopened soon if the new employees have enough experience, but it may be difficult to get them trained.
Would probably start incrementally with our own inmates, because then an experienced jailer would be able to have a new jailer work with them and conduct business and take care of the inmates, and that could be their field training. Missoula County has been more than generous in offering assistance for field training either there or out here, and they've been great, willing to help us out.
Zalawi says Mineral County inmates were sent to Thompson Falls after the closure. He's hoping they can be returned soon.
If we have a sufficient experienced jail staff, we would recall those. The day that the jail shut down, we had 2 of them that had to be housed there, and since that time in the interim, we did have another arrest. So I think currently we are paying Sanders County for 3 of our inmates. We pay $69 a day currently to Sanders County for each inmate that stays there.
Zalawi said they were interviewing 9 people Friday. Mineral County is hoping to hire 3 more jailers and a jail administrator. They were able to find money for the positions by not filling a deputy vacancy. The 2017 Missoula County Health Assessment has been released. It shows most Missoulians love their community, but there are also some big red flags that officials will be working on over the next few years. Health Department Accreditation Specialist Robin Nelson-Sircoin explains what's in that report.
What we did is we collected a lot of data about all kinds of health and well-being indicators, everything from obesity and smoking all the way to, poverty and housing and access to health care insurance and education levels and stuff like that. And we kind of put it all in one place.
The study is filled with graphs covering multiple topics. Some of the most striking graphs reveal the climbing number of child abuse cases and the number of Missoulians struggling below the poverty level.
What we're seeing is that housing just continues to get less and less affordable. One thing that really stood out is that child abuse and neglect has gone way up. I think it's tripled in 5 or 6 years, at least doubled. We've also seen some stuff that's really good, too. One thing we found in all our surveys is that there's a really wide agreement across the community about the strengths here, which are that we love our home, we love our physical place.
When assessing poverty, the study points to the MIT Living Wage Calculator, which says Missoula families with 2 children and 2 working adults would need to earn at least $65,000 a year to afford a home. That number may seem out of reach to many, as the median household income in Missoula is about $46,000. Montana dentists say they fear the state budget cuts for adult dental care will hurt people with disabilities and elderly people the most. Lead newspapers reported Sunday that $8.9 million in cuts are planned to the state's Medicaid dental program. After a slight slowdown, the number of felony cases was back up in the double digits this past week, according to Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Pabst, who appeared on Talkback Friday.
We filed 16 new complaints this last week, 2 violent cases. One was a family strangulation allegation in which the victim allegedly was the suspect's pregnant girlfriend. There was a robbery where the victim was held at bat and knife point, allegedly, and the defendant made threats.
A large bulk of the cases involved either theft or DUI.
There were a handful of endangerment crimes, 1 child endangerment where there was a alleged DUI with a child in the car, 2 felony DUIs, one in which the suspect was allegedly 3 times over the legal limit, and then there was a negligent endangerment. A whole bunch of theft cases were filed, felony and misdemeanor, a burglary, a criminal mischief.
There were also 3 felony drug cases, one of which included a charge of intent to distribute. And small businesses in Montana affected by forest fires can apply for federal help. The SBA announced last week that small businesses in Flathead, Granite, Lake Mineral, Missoula, Powell, Ravalli, and Sanders counties can apply for federal disaster loans for up to $2 million. You must apply by September of next year. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly cloudy to cloudy skies with a wintry mix of rain and snowfall. Daytime highs will top out in the upper 30s. Tonight, rain changing to snow. We'll see a light accumulation by sunrise Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.